I was asking about how to avoid things like layoffs or work reduction by recognizing that valuable employees in IT are hard to replace. And so it's about transforming those employees into the right mix when it comes to automation and technology. So how do we find a way of retaining employees, but making them the most productive within a more automated environment?
Yeah, this is a fantastic question. In some cases, it will make sense to automate specific roles. And whether it's that case or the issue of deciding how to augment your workers you have, not replace them, but automate specific tasks and augment their work, there is a process that we found to be really helpful. And that is conducting job task analyses to get really sharp and dialed in on the specific skills that your workers have and that they need to use to perform their role versus the skills your firm needs, perhaps due to new technologies that are being implemented in the workplace, and mapping those skills through a skill adjacency model. Real-time labor market information, vendors like Lightcast or Velio Labs, there's a whole marketplace out there for them, can be really helpful for employers in inventorying the skills they have using job task analyses and real-time labor market information, which essentially scans job postings data in your industry, in your region, to get a sense of how your firm's skill profile compares with that of other firms. Job task analyses are a great first step to coming up with an upskilling strategy to either move workers into skill adjacent roles that build on some level of skills that they have, but there's upskilling needed to get them to the next level, or in helping them become most competitive vis-a-vis equivalent for occupations at other firms across your industry in your region. So job task analyses are a really helpful tool. With respect to upskilling itself and delivering upskilling for workers, Amazon's career choice model is a really great best practice in this space. But
Shaylin, thank you very much for that. Gotham, Sharma, very good to be with you. Thanks for joining. We got a very nice contextual level set from Shaylin on how this is impacting work at the most general level. But let's drill down a little bit into IT and IT service management, being able to measure how these impacts happen, knowing what you're looking for, or what your KPIs should be are essential. So how do you measure the success and effectiveness of IT service management automation initiatives, and what metrics should organizations track to evaluate their progress?
Yeah, Dana, thanks for having me. Great to be here. Yeah, so I think everyone's tracking things, right? All different functions. My lens is security. So a figure that comes to mind is an adversary can sit on your network for over 200 days before we know they're there. That's concerning to me, right? And that tells me that we should have done something far before that for that to have happened. So if we think about the things we're tracking, right? Time to resolve, right? Time to mitigate threats, right? What vulnerabilities are we closing? And whatever that looks like in your world, I'm again coming from the security lens. So we're reducing vulnerabilities, we're improving patch management. How long does that take? There are qualitative metrics as well as quantitative metrics. You can't kind of measure with numbers kind of job satisfaction or satisfaction of results achieved. But time to recovery, time to getting back to a normal state of operations, right? All of those metrics are valuable in the sense of saying, what is the use of technology? And so I think to Shaylin's point, there's a big idea of kind of these things being adversarial. But I think if we retool and reshift the idea that these are supplementing our current workforce and our current abilities to do the job, what happens with automation and AI in the next 5, 7, 10 years is anyone's guess. But I think where we are right now is it's still supplementing our work currently. And we're certainly seeing that in the security space, right? Where we can now automate threat detection. We can automate incident response. A lot of these things, AI startups are popping up every day. VC funding is flowing into it. We're seeing that from all kinds of places. So whatever we're tracking, right? From a security perspective, I mentioned the threat management, incident response pieces, vulnerability management. And if we can improve and tighten up those processes and those pieces, that's a win, I think, right? That's a measurable win that tells us who are now doing things a little bit faster, a little bit better, and no one's feeling insecure about their job quite yet.
Sure, and IT service management and security have in common the need to remove the human foibles. A lot of errors that happen are as a result of people just doing things that they shouldn't, not tracking the right resources. And so helping people be better at what they do creatively by automating and bringing more structure to processes is essential. Let's drill down now into more detail about IT service management in particular, because I think this is a great example of how automation can be powerful, and the way that it's helping IT service desk and IT service management might be a harbinger of how people will want to bring automation to other areas. So what are some of the top 3 or more areas or several areas to automate that are powerful and are showing these results and metrics that we're looking for, Andrew?
Yeah, first I'd like to piggyback on a couple things that Shaylin and Gotham had mentioned. And the first is finding that win-win. And with IT service management and service management in general, what we're finding is that resources are stretched thin. The proliferation of technology, and probably to some of Gotham's points, the amount of risk in IT is on a trajectory that's far outpacing the addition of headcount. Most companies are trying to figure out how to do more with the same or more with less. So that puts an inordinate burden on the team members, the people doing the work. So in many cases, I think there are opportunities for win-win. And when you think about the service management function within an organization, typically there are certain types of activities that customers on one hand would love to see in near real time. I can't use the word real time because there's literally no such thing. It is near real time. And secondly, there are certain activities that the team members don't like to do, that are highly manual, error prone, don't add much value, not intellectually stimulating, not a good use of their education or how they want to spend their days. You know, we did a survey with InformationWeek, and 58% of those responding said they spent 5 or more hours a week on things that could be automated. That's 2 to 3 months per year. Almost 90% of those same respondents said that those types of activities contribute to attrition, finding another job, because it just weighs them down, and yet they still have to get to all the other things. So the win-win from an IT service management perspective is you automate when A, you see the opportunity where customers want near real-time response, right? They don't want to have to wait for somebody. They don't feel like they should need to. It's a simple question. The other thing that you ask is, will this make my team's lives better? Will this improve my team's ability to focus more on high-value things? When those two lines intersect, that's a great opportunity. We talk about an automation-first mentality, and I've seen this across our customer base. We have the pleasure of working with hundreds and hundreds of organizations, and so I get to observe. And what that means is not that we automate everything we can, but every time there's a new IT service or a reviewing service, we ask the question, can this be automated? Secondly, we ask the question, should it be automated? And should it be automated is answered by those first two topics I talked about. Makes our customers' lives better, makes our team lives better. We had a customer recently who saved about 100 hours a month by automation. And what that allowed their team to do is focus more on the activities that require people working together, requires their intellect, their troubleshooting skills, their educational skills, right, to work with customers. So they got to spend more time doing that. And what do you know? Satisfaction from the customer base skyrocketed along with job satisfaction.